Okay, lubrication systems. An oil separator is generally associated with which of the following? Engine-driven vacuum pump. In order to relieve excess pump pressure in an engine's internal oil system, most engines are equipped with a relief valve. Oil accumulation in the cylinders of an inverted inline engine and in the lower cylinders of a radial engine is normally reduced or prevented by extended cylinder skirts. Where is oil of a dry sump reciprocating engine exposed to the temperature control valve sensing unit? Temperature control valve. The oil cooler inlet. Why are fixed orifice nozzles used in lubrication system of a gas turbine engine?
I don't need the stop.
To provide a relative constant oil flow to the main bearings at all engine speeds. What advantage do mineral-based lubricants have over vegetable oil-based lubricants when used in aircraft engines? Chemical stability. Which of the following bearing types must be continuously lubricated by oil pressure? Plain. What is the purpose of checking valve? What is the purpose of the check valve generally used in a dry sump lubrication system? To prevent oil from the supply tank from seeping into the crankcase during inoperative periods. In a reciprocating engine oil system, the temperature bulb sensing oil temperature at a point after the oil has passed through the oil cooler. The engine oil temperature regulator is usually located between which of the following on a dry sump reciprocating engine?
You know you gotta go.
I do now.
I don't like it.
The engine oil supply pump and the internal lubrication system.
It's like a dry metal screen.
Nope. The oil storage tank
Are you out of your mind?
and the engine oil supply pump.
If I was out of my mind, I'd be out of this house.
God. It was the scavenger pump outlet in the oil and the oil storage tank. Where are sludge chambers when used in an aircraft engine lubrication system usually located? In the crankshaft throws. If the oil in the oil cooler core and annular jacket becomes clogged, what unit prevents damage to the cooler? Oil pressure relief valve. Surge protection valve. Oh. Surge protection valve. An axial flow turbine engine compressor bleed air is sometimes used to aid in cooling the turbine vanes, blades, and bearings. If all other requirements can be met, what type of oil should be used to achieve theoretically perfect engine lubrication? The thinnest oil that will stay in place and maintain reasonable film strength. The type of oil pumps most commonly used on turbine engines are classified as positive displacement pumps. The oil dampening main bearing utilized in some turbine engines is used to provide an oil film between the outer race and the bearing housing in order to reduce vibration tendencies in the rotor system and to allow for slight misalignment. In order to maintain a constant oil pressure as the clearance between the moving parts of an engine increase through normal wear, the supply pump output remains relatively constant at any given RPM, with less oil be returned to the pump inlet by the relief valve. What will be the result of operating an engine in extremely high temperatures using a lubricant recommended by the manufacturer for a much lower temperature? The oil pressure will be lower than normal. What determines the minimum particle size which can be excluded or filtered by a Kuno stack disc edge filtration filter? The spacer thickness. Some large reciprocating engines use compensating oil pressure relief valves to provide a high engine oil pressure when oil is cold and automatically lower the oil pressure when the engine warms up. Lubricating oils with high viscosity index ratings are oils in which the viscosity does not vary much with temperature change. What will result if an oil filter becomes completely blocked? Oil will flow at the normal rate through the system. Compared to reciprocating engine oils, the types of oils used in turbine engines have less tendency to produce lacquer or coke. What is the primary purpose of the oil breather pressurization system that is used on turbine engines? provides a proper oil spray pattern from the main bearing oil jets. An engine lubrication system relief valve is usually located between the pump and internal oil system. The main oil filter strainer, the main oil filter strain the oil at which point in the system. Just as it leaves the pressure pump. Wet sump oil systems are most commonly used in turbine engines. False. In most turbine engine oil tanks, a slight pressurization of the tank is desired to ensure a positive flow of oil. 1, 2 is true. The primary source of oil contamination in a normal operating reciprocating engine is combustion deposits due to combustion chamber blowby and oil migration on cylinder walls. According to the Federal Aviation Regulations, oil tank filters on turbine engine must be marked with the word oil. What type of oil do most engine manufacturers recommend for new reciprocating engine break-ins? Straight mineral. How are piston pins of most aircraft engines lubricated? By oil, which is sprayed or thrown by the master rod or connecting rods. What prevents pressure with the lubricating oil tank from rising above or falling below ambient pressure? Oil tank vent. Lower oil pressure can be determined to the internal engine components. Detrimental to the internal engine components. However, high oil pressure should be limited to the engine manufacturer's recommendations. Why is an aircraft reciprocating engine oil tank on a dry sump lubrication system equipped with a vent line? To prevent pressure build up in the oil tank.
What?
I'm recording.
What am I supposed to do then?
Use my headphones.
Where are they?
Mom has them. As a general rule, a small amount of small fuzzy particles or gray metallic paste on a turbine engine magnetic chip detector is considered to be a result of normal wear. As an aid to cold weather starting, the oil dilution system thins the oil with gasoline. If an oil filter element becomes completely clogged, the bypass valve will open and the oil pump will supply unfiltered oil. High tooth pressure and high rubbing velocities, such as occur with spar type gears, require use of an extreme pressure lubrication or a EP lubricant. Oil picks up most of the heat from which of the following turbine components? The turbine bearing. What will happen to the return oil if the oil line between the scavenger pump and the oil cooler separates. The return oil will be pumped overboard. An oil tank having a capacity of 5 gallons must have an expansion space of 2 quarts. Which of the following prevents oil from entering the main accessory case when the engine is not running? Check valve. A drop in oil pressure may be caused by foreign material under the relief valve. The purpose of a dual chamber in a turbine engine oil tank is to provide separation of entrained air from scavenging oil. Cylinder walls are usually lubricated by spray or splashed oil. Lubricating system last chance filters in turbine engines are usually cleaned during overhaul. Under which of the following conditions is the oil cooler flow control valve open on a reciprocating engine? When the temperature of the oil returning from the engine is too low. Which of the following is a function of the fuel oil heat exchanger on a turbojet engine? Which of the following is a function of the fuel oil heat exchanger on a turbine engine? Increases fuel temperature. And which of the following situations will the oil cooler automatically bypass valve be opened to the greatest amount? Engine oil below normal operating temp. Which of the following characteristics is desirable in turbine engine oil? High flash point. How are the teeth of the gears and accessory section of engine normally lubricated?
What's his presence?
You turn them on.
Wait.
I was trying to hook it up.
Is that it?
No.
Just scroll down.
Specific gravity is a comparison of the weight of a substance to the weight of an equal volume of distilled water at a specific temperature. Fuel may be used to cool oil in a gas turbine engine. Ram air may be used to cool oil in a turbine. Ram air may be... Wait. Both are true. What type of oil do most engine manufacturers recommend after new reciprocating engine break-in? Ashless. In a jet engine, which uses a fuel oil heat exchanger, the oil temperature is controlled by a thermostat valve that regulates the flow of oil through the heat exchanger. The time in seconds required for exactly 60 cubic centimeters of oil to flow through an accurately calibrated orifice at a specific temperature is recorded as a measurement of the oil's viscosity. Why is expansion space required in an engine oil supply tank? For oil enlargement and collection of foam. After making a welded repair to a pressurized type turbine engine oil tank, the tank should be pressure checked to not less than 5 psi plus the maximum operating pressure of the tank. The relief valve installed in the tank venting system of a turbine engine oil tank is to
Are you done?
prevent oil pump cavitation by maintaining constant pressure on the oil pump inlet.
Is it dead or something?
Hold on.
An evil Sonic character? Or was he just a hoax? If he was the result of a glitch, why did this character elicit so much fan art and fan interpretation? In this video, I want to
These are still
explore the
connected to
history
Mom's
of
phone.
a simple palette glitch.
I don't know.
Tell her to turn off her freaking Wi-Fi or her Bluetooth.
Oh,
Mom,
were you playing Sonic the Hedgehog?
no.
Huh?
No.
Did you play any sound that had Sonic or anything similar?
Yes, he did. He was trying to watch something, but your Bluetooth device was paired on.
Okay, so you connected to Shadi's Bluetooth speaker that scared the shit out of her right now. That's why I'm in here.
Can you turn off your Bluetooth because this won't connect?
Oh my god. Wait, what?
Try it now. Yeah, it played through Shadi's speaker.
What did it say?
I don't know. She said sound like Sonic the Hedgehog. Okay, I think it was doing.
No, tell Mom to turn something on. She has her stuff. Tell her to turn off her Bluetooth. God. children. A turbine engine dry sump lubrication system of the self-contained high-pressure design consists of pressure, breather, and scavenging subsystems. What unit in an aircraft engine lubrication system is adjusted to maintain the desired pressure? The oil pressure relief valve.
There it is.
Smash play. Manufacturers normally require turbine engine oil servicing within a short time after engine shutdown, primarily to prevent over-servicing. What is the primary purpose of changing aircraft engine lubrication oils at predetermined periods? The oil becomes contaminated with moistures, acids, and finally divided suspended solid particles. The oil used in reciprocating engines has a relatively high viscosity due to large clearances and high operating temperatures. What is the purpose of the last chance oil filter? To filter the oil immediately before it enters the main bearing. What is the primary purpose of the fuel oil heat exchanger? To cool the oil. The vent line connecting the oil supply tank and the engine and the dry sump engine installation permits the oil to be vented through the normal engine vent. Possible failure-related ferrous metal particles in a turbine engine oil cause a electrical indicating type magnetic chip detector to indicate their presence by bridging the gap between the center positive electrons and the ground electrons. Upon what quantity of characteristics of lubricating oil is its viscosity index based? Its rate of change in viscosity with temperature change. The pump capacity of a scavenger pump in a dry sump aircraft engine lubricating system is greater than the capacity of the oil supply. A general rule, the mixture setting on a reciprocating engine at or near takeoff power that provides the best cooling is full rich. The valve assemblies of an opposed reciprocating engines are lubricated by means of the valve assembly. Pressure system. The purpose of the flow control valve in a reciprocating engine oil system is to direct oil through or around the oil cooler. In a reciprocating engine, oil is directed from the pressure relief valve to the inlet side of the pressure pump. Oil tank filters on a reciprocating engine are marked with the word oil in accordance with FAR Part 25. What is the source of most of the heat that is absorbed by lubricating oil in the reciprocating engine? Pistons and cylinder walls. What would be the probable result if the oil system pressure relief valve should stick in the open position on a turbine engine? Insignificant lubrication. Where is the oil temperature bulb located on a dry sump reciprocating engine? Oil inlet line. Which of the following factors has the least effect on oil consumption of a specific engine? Mechanical efficiency. Gas turbine and reciprocating engine oils can be mixed or used interchangeably. No. False. Most gas turbine engine oils are synthetic. True. The recommended aircraft engine lubricants are mineral and synthetic. Which of the following has the greatest effect on viscosity of a lubricating oil? Temperature. Which of the following lubricating system components is never located between the pressure pump and the engine pressure system, the fuel line for oil dilution system? How is the oil collected by the piston oil ring returned to the crankcase? Through holes drilled in the piston oil ring grooves. At cruise RPM, some oil will flow through the relief valve of a gear-type engine oil pump. This is normal as the relief valve is set at a pressure which is lower than the pump inlet pressure. Lower than the pressure pump capacities. Hate that I got that wrong because I know it. The viscosity of a liquid is measure of its resistance to flow. What type of oil system is usually found on a turbine engine? Dry sump, pressure, and spray. What is the primary purpose of the hopper located in the oil supply tank of some dry sump engine installations? It reduces the time required to warm the oil to operating temperatures. The purpose of directing bleed air to the outer turbine case on some engines is to prevent optimum turbine blade tip clearance by controlling thermal expansion. The basic oil pressure relief valve setting for a newly overhauled engine is made in the overhaul shop. Excessive oil prevented from accumulating on cylinder walls of reciprocating engine by the oil control rings on the pistons. Which of the following helps determine the proper grade of oil to use in a particular engine? Operation speed of the bearings. Grade the shit. 95, pretty good. Let's go over what I missed. The engine oil temperature regulator, usually located between which of the following on a dry sump reciprocating engine? The scavenger pump outlet and the engine storage tank. If the oil in an oil cooler core and annular jacket becomes clogged, what unit prevents damage to the oil cooler? The surge protection valve. The purpose of the relief valve installed in the tank venting system of a turbine engine oil tank is to prevent oil pump cavitation by maintaining constant pressure on the oil pump inlet. The purpose of the relief valve installed on the tank. lower than the pressure pump capacity. Some oil flows through the relief valve. This is normal because the relief valve is set to a pressure which is lower than the pressure pump's capacities. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pretty good, pretty good.